Hello everyone, this is your friend Dave Gadhvi. Welcome to one more exciting episode of Care Nation. And today we have a very special guest joining us all the way from the US. We have Sherri Thomas. Hey Sherri, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Deb. How are you?
I'm fantastic, super duper excited. For people who don't know who Sherri is, let me just share a brief about her. She is the career strategist, she is the Huffington Post columnist, she is the international speaker, and the award winning author. She's written a book called The Bounce Back. So, pretty excited because Sherri, we have a lot of people in our community, Care Nation, they're working for some big corporates, and there's a lot of learning coming from you. So thank you so much. Hope we would be able to get the maximum out of you, and will everybody grow.
Yes. You have access to me for the next 30, 45 minutes, however long you want, Deb. I'm here for you.
Thank you so much. So Sherri, why don't you just give us a little brief about who really Sherri is? We know Sherri from the brief introduction that I gave, but how did it all start? How did you become the career coach? And if you can just take back a few years, when did it all start, and where you originally from?
Yeah, I it's actually kind of an interesting story. I have been a disc jockey in radio for a few years, and that was my degree. That was my degree, was broadcasting.
That's amazing. Disc jockey. Wow.
Yeah, I went to college for it. I trained for it, so I was a disc jockey for a few years, and then I went into television for a few years. And so all of my friends wanted to know how I got into radio. And so I would teach them their resume and interviewing. And then when I moved and I went into TV, then all my radio friends were saying, "How did you do that? Can I help them move into TV?" So I helped them with their resume and interviewing. And then when I decided to get out of radio and TV, and I wanted to get into more of a corporation, a business type, and I did. Then all my friends in radio and TV are like, "How'd you do that? How'd you get out?" And it was just funny how people kept asking me whether they were friends, relatives, friends of friends. I mean, even people I didn't know would just start asking me, how did I rebrand myself? And how did I break into different industries and different job roles? And so I've just always been happy to teach people.
Wow, that's really a different career altogether. Going to television, radio, and coming back and doing your own thing, and then you became a published author, international speaker, and career coach. So how? So what made you? First of all, where exactly in the U.S. are you based out of?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where exactly in the US are you based?
Yeah, I'm based in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh,
Have you been?
No, I've not been there, but I hope I will be there someday.
Yes, you must come. We have the Grand Canyon, if you've ever seen that or seen
Oh,
pictures
yes.
of the Grand Canyon.
Yes. Some of my friends have been there. I hope I get to explore that. I will be in the US for next 2 months, starting from October 16th. I will be traveling a lot within the US. My base will be in Chicago, but yeah, I look forward to exploring that part of US.
Fantastic. You'll love it.
Yeah, awesome. So you started as this jockey, and then you went to radios and television, and then you decided to come out of that and build your own empire, start your own business. So what actually, that is, I know for sure your friends were asking you to help them with the resume and the career, but what is it? Why did you wanted to do this? What is the real why behind Sherri wanting to do this?
Yeah, so I joined a Fortune 100 company, and I had been there for about a year and a half. And all of a sudden, my manager told me that my job was being eliminated, and I didn't have a job anymore. And I was very confused. I had just had a really good year-end performance review. I was working in the sales and marketing group. I loved it. Great relationship with my manager. And I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. And in fact, I remember when she was telling me I remember saying her lips moving, but I couldn't hear anything. And the reason is because the voice in my head was so loud, and the voice in my head was saying, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What did I need to do? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Just tell me and I can make this right. You know, I don't know, Deb, if you've ever lost your job or had some kind of a setback, but it's pretty devastating that in the blink of an eye, you can lose your paycheck, you can lose the vision you've had for yourself, you can lose your identity. You know, if I don't work for this company or this organization, then who am I? And I was fortunate to be working for a company that gave me a couple of weeks to go look for a new job within the company. And so during those couple of weeks, I did find another job. But those couple of weeks, I was in a very dark place. I don't think I was clinically depressed, but I think I was getting close to it. And while I was in there and really thinking about my career, I wrote down, I really started thinking about my manager. And I thought my manager liked me. I thought my manager knew I was dedicated and I was loyal and hardworking. And why didn't she have my back? And then as I started thinking about it, I thought, her job isn't to have my back. Her job is to look out for the department. And then when I thought about it more deeply, I thought her job is to look out for her own job. And so then I thought, well, who's looking out for me? And who's looking out for my career? And that was the only time during that period where my head was completely silent. And it was a big wake-up call that nobody was looking out for my career. Yeah. And in fact, at that time, I had a big aha moment that I really didn't have a strategy in my career at that time. If somebody wanted to hire me, I took it as a sign that I'm supposed to go work there. And if my manager told me, go lead this project, I'd go lead that project. And if my manager said, go lead this team, I'd go lead this team. My strategy was just being nice. And I realized that's not a good strategy, because even though I had just lost that job, I really wasn't that happy with my role and responsibilities. I really wasn't happy with that title that I had. I certainly wasn't happy with my paycheck. And so when I was at home, I just took a pen and a piece of paper and I just wrote down mission statement. I am driving my own career. And I remember looking at that and having no idea how to do that. No idea how to do that. But I knew in that moment that I need to figure it out. I need to figure it out. So for the past 15, 16 years, that happened 16 years ago, I've just really been on a journey. I've just been on a journey to learn more about how to be more proactive in my own career and stop being reactive so that I can have more choices. I can figure out what I want to do. So that's how I just kind of evolved into 10 years ago. I started really being a career coach.
Well, I think I can relate to what you're saying, because I started working with Oracle for some time, and there was a layoff in Oracle sometimes. So I had to quit that job after 3.5 years. So that was the moment I realized that, hey, I need to really, become really master at it. Fortunately for me, I got another job and I was really happy and satisfied with the hike I got at that time. I think it was probably four or 5 years back. But there were so many people, my team members, they struggled to find a job for so many months, and they saw the worst of situations. I can completely imagine. And recently also I saw a lot of some of my well-wishers, some of my friends, they're losing their jobs. And it really, really breaks my heart thinking about that. So that really brings me to my next question. So in your expertise right now, so you're counseling people on how to build a strong career. So what exactly are you doing for people who are working the job? So what is it that they get out of your consulting or the book that you've written? So tell us a little more about how you're actually changing a lot of people's life.
Yeah, as I mentioned in my book, there are really kind of two things that happen when you lose your job, or you get into a job and maybe it's not a really good fit with your manager, or maybe you get overlooked for a promotion, things like that. One side is very tactical, and it's things I can teach you. It's you know, how do you write your resume after you've been laid off? How do you create a career story and say it to a hiring manager during a job interview if you've been laid off? How do you prepare for a job interview? Those are things that are very tactical. You can learn those. I can teach you those, no problem. But the other side that's really powerful and critical is the mindset. And so many times what happens to us, and it's happened to me, is that you feel a little embarrassed that you just lost your job. You are a little bit angry. You're a little bit confused. It's just a whole bag of emotions that come with that. And so I thought that I just needed to cover those emotions. And I thought I just need to smile and pretend that I'm absolutely fine, and people will see me that way. But that really does hold you back. And you probably know this, Deb, that when you see somebody and you say, how are you? And they could be smiling and they could say, I'm fine. But you just sense that something's off, something is not right. And so it's really critical before you go into interviews or before you start networking that you have dealt with those emotions, that you have managed through those emotions, so that you can be your real authentic self, and people will see you as your real authentic self.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful the way you're saying. So you're saying that the two parts of any human being when you're, you know, whether in job or with you're looking for a job or you lost a job, one is the emotional and one is the technical side, right? So the practical
Yeah.
side. So the emotional is where, you know, you need to really work upon and control your emotion and show them what you bring to the table as a tactical person, as a skilled person, and not someone who is behind the emotion that, hey, I want a job, you know, I'm desperate, you know, all those things. Is that?
Beautiful. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You need to be able to allow yourself a couple of days to be angry, or be sad and cry, or you know, go pound a pillow, or be out in nature. You need to be able to really be with that emotion, and then also do something that fills your cup. So whether it's going out to the ocean or going to the mountains or something, but you need to get back to your natural vibration. You need to get back to your natural self. And only then, I believe, you'll be able to find others who really value and appreciate all of those special gifts and talents that you have.
Yeah, beautiful. So who is this book for, Bounce Back? Is it for people who are looking for a new job opportunity, or who should be reading that book?
Yeah, anybody who has been through any kind of a career setback. And I researched, I did a lot of research, so I talked to a lot of people, and I picked out 13 people and myself to share their personal story. And so I asked the question, tell me about your deepest, darkest day that you had in your career. But then I asked the flip side, which is, and how did you bounce back? And that's really the richness of the book. And it shows how just all kinds of situations. There was a gentleman who was working at a company, and he thought that he was going to be a VP in that company. And it was a global company. And then they gave him an assignment that was in China. And he was quite devastated. He took that as a demotion because he wanted the VP and he wanted to be in the US and all of that. But it was very interesting to hear his story and hear his perspective and how he managed it and handled it, and just how he looked at it, and then how he came back to the US and then did get the VP position. So there are just all kinds of different stories about people who didn't get a manager. They were doing great, and then all of a sudden they didn't get a manager. Or I tell my personal story of how I was laid off. And so it's just, I think that I wanted to make sure that I had all different kinds of industries and all different kinds of job roles and all different kinds of situations. But I really wanted to get their step-by-step blueprint on what they did to bounce back into a better, richer, more meaningful career.
Wow, that's beautiful. Well, I can completely relate to what you said. That I was working in one of the company, and I was given a bigger team, and I said, "Hey, no, have a less team, right?" And they changed the model. Okay, no, have little more, little, few people. Then I was completely moved to an individual contributor role. So that was completely like a setback to me, for sure, because you were given a team of like 40 people managing multi-million-dollar business, and then you said no, you're gonna reduce your team. So it really hurts.
Yeah, how did you deal with that?
Well, I went with the wind. I said, that's fine. I know my worth and what I can bring to the table. And if it is the company's decision to change the team or reduce the responsibility, I'm fine with it. I'm more very optimistic and very positive guy. So I don't really take things negatively. I said, I'll prove myself again and I'll bounce back.
Wow, you sound really healthy, Dev. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's great. But yeah, I should have interviewed you for the book.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so great. So tell me, how does it work? So if the person, okay, there are three type of people, right? Number one is probably they went through a bad phase in the job, and either they were laid off or they are not getting what they want and they want to bounce back. For them, the book is definitely going to be really helpful as a tool with a blueprint. Then there's second type of people who are comfortable in their career. They probably don't have a lot of ambitions, and they just go 9 to 5 and do what they're supposed to do, and that's about it. And there are third kind of people, who are actually, so the first one is going through a bad phase. Second one is average, mediocre. Third one is who is actually doing really well in terms of the performance, but still they're not getting what they want. So
Yeah.
what are your piece of advice for each one of them, and how they should actually deal with either being an average monotone career, and then how they can spike the career in terms of the personal satisfaction as well as the financial pay? So what is your piece of advice, especially focusing on
Okay.
that?
Okay, so I think you just asked me 3 questions at once.
Okay,
So let's take it one at a time, okay?
sure.
Okay, so let's start with the middle group. And the middle group, you said they're working 9 to 5, they're fine in their job, they're not really advancing, but they're not putting in the effort, and maybe they don't have the mental discipline or the goals.
Yes.
That's fine. It's fine to be like that. Maybe there's something going on in their personal life and they want to focus on their parents or their children, or that's what the world's made up of, a big mix of people. And so if they're fine, then they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're happy, that's what matters.
Yeah. So let's take the first group, which is the third group. I think you said is the one that they're energized. They want to be challenged. They want to be flexing those professional muscles that they have, and maybe they're not being given an opportunity. Did I capture that
Yes,
correctly?
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I love this group because I think I was actually in this group. And it sounds like you were in this group too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I really believe that you should never let someone else determine your career path. I really believe that we need to be proactive and we need to really figure out what is it that you want to learn. So if I asked you, Deb, what's the next thing you want to learn? I want you to be able to answer that. I want you to be able to think about what energizes you, what is interesting to you, where do you want to grow? And that might take you a month to figure that out. That's okay, but that is a very critical question. And then once you're able to really understand that, then you can start looking around for different opportunities and you can start talking to other people. And you could say things like, everything's going well in my career. I'm really happy. I'm looking to take that next step though. I really want to learn more about sales, or I really want to learn more about this new kind of technology. When you're able to say what specifically it is that you want to master or learn about, then people are so nice that, you know, they really will be able to say, oh, well, you need to go talk to Sherri because she needs this type of person, or you need to talk to this company, they're hiring right now. In fact, I was just talking, I have one of my clients who's a woman in Pakistan, and she's a software developer, and she lost her job, and it was a big deal because she is the breadwinner for her family. And so we worked together a little bit, and then she was able to really start articulating what it is she was looking for. And within a matter of a couple weeks, someone said, you need to go talk to this person, they're hiring, and they haven't even published the job yet.
Wow. Okay.
So hopefully that gives, you know, some kind of idea for that third group. I'm so sorry, but I need to plug in my computer right now. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Stay with me.
No worries.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. Great.
All right. No worries. Great. No, that completely makes sense. You know, so, you know, first be open and, you know, ask them what is it that they want to achieve, and then go for it.
Yeah.
Talk to the right people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, talk to the right people. That's.
Yeah, I think that there were situations in my own career where I felt like I was being pushed down, or I didn't feel like I was being able to flourish. And so I really learned the value of having a great manager that could help me flourish and one that could hold me back. And so let me give you an example. A few years ago, I was working in an IT department, and I got a really great opportunity to fly to New York and help out a university with their master's curriculum, like give input on their IT master's curriculum. I mean, how fun is that? That's like cool. And they were going to pay for me, and it was going to be like a 2-day thing. And so I went to my manager. I'm like, oh my gosh, guess what? I got this cool opportunity. And he said, yeah, and he told me I couldn't do it. And I asked him why, and he said, because everybody on the team has to be working on this project. And if he let me go do this other thing, it would look bad. And I thought, well, that's kind of ridiculous that the reason I can't go is just because the perception might be negative, what somebody else cares. I'm like, do you care? As my manager. And he's like, no, I don't care. And I'm like, then why are you telling me no? And he's like, Sherri, I'm so sorry. I'd love to support you, but I can't. And in fact, he told me to go send that email to like a colleague in another department because that was more in line with their role. And so I sent the email, and that night I couldn't sleep. I had this like pain in my stomach. It bothered me so much. So the next day I woke up and the person I sent that email to, I said, you know what, never mind. I need to do this. So I called up my manager again and again. I said, this is something I need to do. It's free. I want to do it. It's exciting. It's cool. It's only going to take me 2 days. And he said again, I'm so sorry. I would love to support you. I can't. So I hung up the phone. I was so irritated. That night, I slept like this. So the next day, I called him like the 3rd time. And I said, what is the path to yes? What is the path to yes?
Wow.
And he said, I can't think of anything. And I said, what if I take vacation days to do this? And he said, oh, if you take vacation day, he goes, you can do it. And I said, done. So I really believe that when you get physical signs, like you're angry or like your stomach is in a knot or you can't sleep, I really believe that it's because you're going against your flow. And so if you make up your mind that this is where I need to go, then I really believe there is always a path to yes.
Wow. That's a beautiful, beautiful statement as well. You know, it didn't really strike me. So what is the path to yes? I think that's a magic question. Is that in your book as well?
That's around. I've heard many people say that, and I wish I could quote the original author of that. I'm not the original.
Okay.
It's been around a while, but I love it. It's nice, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful question to, get the person, do and answer the, what are the objection, what are the hurdles of saying no? What is the path to yes? It's a beautiful way to put it across. Great, great. I love it. So I'm gonna take a couple of questions now because I know you also have limited time. So one of the followers, Sridhar, he asked that he is the management professional with one of the with the diverse experience in India and UAE in diverse fields and domains. He's been into banking, education, and other diverse groups. His specialty is admin, HR, operations, CRM, team management. He says that he finds himself stuck in his career to choose a sector or domain to move forward in his career. So how can he go about choosing what sector or what domain that he should be working in?
Yeah. So it sounds like he has a lot of different experience, right? Education, banking. So there's no magic answer for this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I can give him some ideas just to think. So one thing is he sounds like he's had a very rich, very full career. And so think about what were the times where he was happiest in his career? What was he doing that day? Was he creating something new? Was he delivering a proposal to senior managers and leaders? Was he developing something? What were the happiest days that start bubbling up? And then just start drilling in, why was that so much fun? Or why was that so exciting? And then just keep a journal and just write down various things that you start thinking of, and then see if you see a pattern. So maybe it was because there's a particular product that kept popping up. Or maybe it was because he was able to exercise a certain skill. Maybe he was managing a really cool team. Or maybe he had this really great manager that let him do something that was, new and interesting to him. But that could be one exercise that could help him.
I love it. I love it. I think that is going to be really, really helpful. It's just that go back and see what made you happy and try and figure that out and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I think it's very simple and it's it's not complicated. And I think the best things in the world are usually simple.
I do too. We make it so hard with our minds, and it's so simple, Dev.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think I'm loving this. I'm loving your answers. It really makes sense. Really simple. Great. Let's take another question. So Pradeep asked, what is more important? Designation, money, job, or satisfaction?
Oh, it's totally different for all of us. It's totally different. Yeah. Um, and I also believe that you don't have to pick one. So if somebody tells me, do you like this or do you like this? I always say, put your hands together. For me, that's for me. That's for me, though. That's for me. So I love the question. I love the question, and you need to figure that out. You need to figure that out. Is it a paycheck? Is it a lifestyle? Is it freedom? You know, the freedom to do what you want. Is it advancement? Do you want to be able to be vice president of a company by the time you're 40 years old? There's some people that are just, destined for that. Is it that you want to produce a new kind of technology or a new product? There are all kinds of motivators or end goals or visions. And I think that it's just very important to get in touch with whatever motivates you. And it's different for you than it is for me, than it is for them. And this is a big reason why I think it's so bad to get career advice from everybody in your family and all of your friends, because they don't understand you and what you need to do. They don't understand what your purpose is, what your mission is in this universe. You are the only one who understands it. So that's why I think it's so important to get clarity on what excites you and what energizes you and what motivates you. And then you can put together a roadmap on how to reach that.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Pretty brilliant question. I love it. And I think he had a follow-up question saying that, how do you rate these three while looking for a job switch, right? Designation, money, job satisfaction. So Pradeep, my take, just to add to what Sherri said, beautifully, is look, everybody goes through a phase in their career that something which is important to me today may not be important to me when I'm changing my job tomorrow, right? Maybe initially money is very important to me. Maybe after I'm in a career a few years down the line, maybe designation is important to me. Maybe 10 years down the line, maybe I would just want to be happy in my job. So job satisfaction is important to me because, hey, I already have money and I already have a designation. I need to look for a job which fulfills me, which satisfies me, and which makes me feel the important aspect of the company. So I think it would vary starting from what phase of life you're in and what is priority. As rightly Sherry mentioned, it could be different for different people, and it could be different depending on the different circumstances and situations as well that you are in.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Deb.
All right, thank you. All right, so next question comes from Rajiv. He says that does giving interviews frequently help us to get on the ladder of building up solid career? Because, and then he follows up. So he's saying that giving more in interviews, does it really helps us in building a solid career? That is one. And he says that I found that these interviews gives us strength to correct my not so good areas that I couldn't understand being in my comfort zone. So he's saying that, okay, it really helps him correct his area which he was not so great at if he can fix it. So does frequent interviews help or not?
So Deb, do you think that he's talking about job interviews?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, a couple things. I do believe that for some reason it usually takes multiple job interviews for us to really be good at them, for us to really be able to talk about our strengths and successes in a confident way. It takes multiple interviews to do this. Now, what I would like to say as a career coach is my hope for you, Deb, and for all of your watchers are that you get multiple opportunities. I want you to have multiple opportunities so that you're the one who gets to choose where you want to go and what you want to be doing. I never want you to be in a position where you feel like you'll take anything or you're begging for a job. I never want you in that position. I want you to always have your ears open. I want you to always be talking to people about what you love doing. You can always be invited for an interview, and you can always say, you know what, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really good where I am. Maybe in 6 months things might change, but right now I'm okay. But I would love for you and all of your watchers and viewers to be able to really be in a place, like I said, where you get multiple interviews and options.
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
love what Chris Rock said. Do you know Chris Rock?
He's the musician, I believe, or
He's actually a comedian. He's
oh,
hilarious,
yes, yes.
and he's been in movies and stuff. Anyway, I love what he said, and I actually quoted him in my book. And his quote is, "Being rich has nothing to do with money. Being rich has everything to do with opportunities."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love that. Isn't that good?
It's a beautiful quote.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, great answer. I love it. So Rajiv, I hope you got this answer. It's beautiful, beautiful answer, and I would completely agree with Sherry because hey, it's the opportunity which would make you a better person and have you a better life. So always keep your eyes and ears open on opportunities. Never say no to an opportunity. And here's one more quote which I read or maybe I thought of. Is that and sometimes you don't even have to wait for the opportunities. You can just go out knocking on opportunities doors and hey, what do you have for me? Right? So sometimes you need to create your own opportunities. So, I think we should always grab opportunities, attract opportunities, and create opportunities.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah,
Awesome,
beautiful.
awesome. So last piece of advice that we seek from you, Sherry. So if I am in a job, let's say I've been here for like 5 years or maybe 7 years, how do I plan my career? Well, let's say I want to become a VP. I think I know where you how you'll be answering. Probably already answered it. But how do I plan my career to be super successful? And again, I know it's very subjective that success may mean different to different people. But in general, what are the things that I should be doing? Like, at least top three things to make sure that I'm super successful working.
Yeah. So a little bit is, I would ask you, how do you define success? And so that's the first thing. You need to figure out, how do you define success? Is it, some things that we talked about. So is it a paycheck or a lifestyle, or maybe you just want to work 9 to 5 and you want to spend quality time outside of work? That's fine too. So you need to define that. And then once you have that overarching goal, and like you said, it may only be your goal or your internal GPS for a couple of years. It might change. So for me, I always start out the beginning of the year by asking myself, what is my goal for this year? What do I want to learn in this year? How do I want to stretch my professional muscles this year? I ask myself those questions. So yes, have a vision, and it may only be for a couple years. So you want to ask yourself that, and then start asking yourself, what is the path to yes? So how can you get there? There's a beautiful book about architecting your life, and it encourages you to think of 3 different paths that you could get there. 3 different paths, and I like that book. It makes me think differently. So and I love it because it helps me be a little flexible and a little fluid. So if I only had one path to yes, I would block off all kinds of different potential opportunities, and just me, I would just be like this. So I like the way of what could 3 different paths to yes look like, and that way I have my main mission, and now I'm opening up myself for multiple options.
Beautiful. You know what? I never did that. I never wrote my mission statement for so many years, for 13 years of my career. And I wish I would have met you, or I would have, been exposed to these kind of beautiful thoughts. I think, guys, if you're watching this, that itself, writing a mission statement, trust me, can really change your life, because you're like probably sitting in a boat, and if you don't know where you're heading, you're just, either waiting for a disaster to happen, or you're just probably waiting to get stranded. So you need to have a, desired mission, and you need to write it down every single day. And as Sherry rightly mentioned, and then break it down with each opportunities and each areas that you need to work on every day, and plan your career accordingly. Did I miss anything, Sherry?
No, I think you got everything. I love your questions, Deb.
Great, great. Now I think
And I love the questions from your viewers. I think they're great. I think they're right on.
big compliment for you guys. All right, so I think this session was really beautiful. I think I have never had any guest on my podcast who was only talking about career. So this was definitely a unique discussion we had. I had people coming from sales. I had people coming from the the business aspect, affiliate marketing. I interviewed Dan Locke. I interviewed Giancarlo Barraza. I interviewed some social media expert like Evan Carmichael. But I think today's session gave a different, unique flavor to everybody, because I think everybody is working. Most of the people watching this, they're working for somebody, and it's so crucial to know where you're heading. What are the things that you need to do to get what you want in your career? Be it money, happiness, freedom, whatever it is. Freedom, I would really rate in top two or three for sure, along with money and designation. So Sherry, it was such a beautiful time that I did not even realize that we already spent more than 40 minutes.
Wow. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Oh, same here, same here. Great, thank you so much, Sherry. So if people have to buy your book, is it available on Amazon, or how do they go about it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon for sure, and Barnes and Noble. You can also go to my website. And on my website, I have some free video training that I just put up, and it's called 15 Clever Ways to Get More Job Opportunities.
Wow, I
And
love
so
that. I want to watch that one first.
I don't think you need to, Deb. Yeah, so my website is careercoaching360.com. That's careercoaching360.com. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to have that video training series for free. I can tell you that it's free right now, and so you might want to grab it quickly if you think that'll be helpful for you.
I'm gonna grab that real quick. So, guys, I'm gonna leave this link in the description below. So I'm sure everybody is excited to watch that. So am I. So thank you so much, Sherry, for your lovely, wonderful time and sharing the beautiful wisdom. I'm gonna share all your links in the description below. Where do you want them to follow you? They will definitely check you out on your website. Any other place on social media that they should follow you?
Yeah, LinkedIn. I do a lot on LinkedIn, and then I also have Twitter at
All right.
Sherri space Thomas.
Sherry Space Thomas on Twitter, right? Perfect, perfect. I think I've got your LinkedIn link as well, profile link. So I'm going to leave all those links below, guys. So go check it out. Buy that awesome book. You need to bounce back, okay? Whether you're getting laid or you're getting paid, you need to bounce back. All right, Sherry. Thank you so much. You enjoy your beautiful rest of the day. Really appreciate your time. Thanks from the Care Nation. Namaste.
Thank you. I'm gonna stay. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Guys, thank you so much. Do subscribe to YouTube channel if you have not done this already. This is your friend Dave Gadhvi, committed to bringing you such brilliant minds across the world so that we all can grow together. And if you want, you can also reach out to me. There are a few tips I can share with you. I also do some coachings around sales, business success mindset, and social media. Do follow me on all the platform, and you know It's a Scare Nation. We're all about caring for our futures and caring for others. Okay. Thank you so much for your precious time. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right. Take care.